Hey, we are live. I'm getting relocated here. Hold on, I'm sitting on the remote. That's not fun. Welcome. I am Alexandra Harbushka. I am host of, I'm the host of the Life with Herpes show and the creator behind lifewithherpes.com and all this stuff about life with herpes. So before we get going, and hi friend, welcome. Before we get going, let me just put this group in our secret society. That sounds funny. Our Life with Herpes Slack group. So let me just put that in there so we can invite other people and hopefully they'll come. Hi, new friend. So let me do that. Just bear with me 1 segundo and I will be right back with you. All right. I hope everybody is having a great weekend. I can't believe that it is Memorial Day already. Can you? I can't believe it's Memorial Day. If you're watching this live, yeah, you'll know that it is Memorial Day here. I don't know when you're watching this, if you're watching this later, the replay or whatever, but yeah, it is Memorial Day. And I say that every time, like, how did the year get halfway through? So hi, new friend, welcome. All right, I'm just getting my computer set up because of course you can't do that before you launch, right? But anyways, okay. Hi, new friend. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, like I said, and host and creator behind lifewithherpes.com. So let me just put this in the chat box. It's really funny, Life with her. Okay, I was typing and I spelled, you type too quick and you spell it wrong. You guys will find this so funny. So, when you're in denial about having herpes and you don't want to admit that you have herpes and you don't even want to say the word having herpes. And it's so funny. I didn't know how to spell herpes until I really started this. I thought it was HERPIES. Wasn't that funny? I actually didn't, because I just didn't want to associate or have anything to do with it. So it's funny. Now I obviously know how to spell it, but just turn the light on. I don't know if that helps. Now I know how to spell it, but it's just funny that I didn't know how to spell it really until recently. All right. So hi, love, I will tell Bill hello. And great to see you from the British continent. I bet you were busy. I bet I read everything about Meghan Markle right now and it's like, all exciting. I don't know if you're over it or not, but I think it's pretty cool. I was all into the wedding last weekend and all that. So, okay, let's get to it. So basically the way this works is members from our community send us questions, ask us questions, and then I will answer them weekly on the live. So if you have a question, go on ahead and type it in the chat where I can answer it live here, or if you are in our Slack group, go on ahead and do that. If you are like, what is this private Slack group community? What is she talking about? Go to lifewithherpes.com and join. It's a great way to meet other people just like you, just like me, who are living with herpes and genital herpes. And it's such a warm community over there. So I really invite you to do that if you are like, what is Alexandra talking about? Okay, so let me get started. I think I'm starting my second outbreak. It's very small. Do I still need to put on medicine? Is that a requirement? Okay, so no, it's not a requirement to take medicine whatsoever, right? If you don't want to take any of the antivirals, then you don't need to. Some people have such severe outbreaks that there's no choice, right? It's like, why wouldn't you? Some people have such mild outbreaks that it's like, I don't really know if I need to do it and I'm fine and it doesn't really get in the way and I'm going to let it run its course. Very similar to, when you get the flu. Some people get really mild flu symptoms and they're fine. They can still go to work. I don't know how that's possible, but they can. And other people end up in the hospital, right? So it's just the spectrum of it. So by no means do you ever need to take the daily antiviral. or take it when you have an outbreak. There are some things you can do, like diet and removing certain foods from your diet while you have an outbreak. So little things that, and I know they're like the fun things but like alcohol, caffeine. I just did a post on it recently, you know, like the 5 things or 6 foods that can cause outbreaks. I recommend going back and looking at that. Go to lifewithherpes.com and go to the episodes. It's on there. So I go through the foods, but it's things like sugar and things like that. So it's making sure you get plenty of sleep, you take care of yourself. Technically you are sick, right? You have a cold or what? It's like you don't have a cold, but you're sick, right? Your immune system's down, and that's why you are getting an outbreak. So you don't need to take it. If it's more comfortable for you, then take it. If not, then it's not a requirement. More stuff like this is what we talk about in our weekly support group. We go into the diet, we go into lifestyle changes, we go into all that stuff to help you and to help our members understand that there are some lifestyle changes that can really affect preventing outbreaks as well as helping them recover faster. We got a note here. I only use acyclovir once I get an outbreak, which is usually once a year. I don't use suppressive therapy any other time. Yeah. So you're super lucky. There's no reason to be taking a daily suppressant if you only get an outbreak once a year. I was just using this example to somebody else. They're like, do I need to be on this daily now that I got it? What's recommended? So I use my personal example. I have HSV1 orally, and I have it's funny, I feel like Home Alone. HSV orally and HSV2 genitally. HSV1 oral and HSV2 genital. I only have oral outbreaks 14 years apart. So by no means does my body need to be on a daily suppressant for the oral outbreaks, right? That would be a waste of my body doesn't need it. So that's something to look at and start to know your body. You may be the type of person that gets outbreaks. You get over one and then you get another one. Then you get over one, you get another one. And it just keeps on going in a cycle. But it could be, hey, you're a year apart, 2 years apart. It's not worth being on a daily suppressant. Yeah, I bulk up on echinacea and lysine other times. Yeah, super smart. The lysine is something that I've been big on these last couple weeks. If you've been watching the show or following along, the most recent episodes I've published have been about lysine and arginine and diet and removing things and taking out things and just being cognizant of what you're putting in your body. And lysine is such a great thing. I personally take lysine daily, and echinacea is also a great immune booster, and it keeps you healthy. So it really boils down to an immune system thing. All right. Thanks for sharing. I love that. Okay. I'm a lesbian, and I have HSV2, but my girlfriend doesn't. What can I do to prevent giving it to her? Okay. Just making my notes here. So here's the thing is HSV1 and HSV2, herpes in general, is skin-to-skin transmission. Herpes likes the mouth and it likes the genital region. So with being a lesbian, chances are you're going to be having oral sex. Well, but we all have oral sex. So this doesn't really just apply to being a lesbian or not. So if you have genital herpes, you can transmit genital herpes to your partner if your partner performs oral sex on you. The virus doesn't care which way it goes. As long as you give it a place to live, it's going to go there. So yeah, there's definitely some things you can do, and there's ways that you can prevent it. I didn't read the whole thing, but I know you were saying like, hey, we don't have vaginal sex, we don't use condoms because we don't, that's not part of our anatomy, right? It's not going to work out. There are some things that you can do. There are female condoms that you can use if you want to get interested with that, as well as a dental dam. And that's really a great way to prevent transmitting it to your partner or receiving it from your partner if your partner has it, depending on what side you're on. Yeah, there's definitely some ways to prevent it. And this goes for, lesbian, gay, straight, bisexual, whatever. It doesn't matter your sexual preference. It doesn't matter what sexual act you are performing. What matters is it's skin to skin. And anytime there is any type of sexual activity, your skin to skin comes together. So just be really cognizant of that and know where your outbreaks are. And that could be really helpful to prevent transmitting it and things like that. I did a whole episode a while back. It's called Condoms and Herpes. If you go through and look, that would be a great resource for you. If this is something that's really specific to you, I would recommend going back and looking at that because I go really into detail and I explain the pros and cons of condoms and, what works, what doesn't work. Keep in mind, one of the things that I'm a huge advocate about, and that is very frustrating as an advocate about, and it's probably frustrating because I got that, I would see people be stereotypical about it. So I'm leading you up to the big thing that is a pet peeve, is when people go, oh, I always use a condom. I'm clean. I'm clean. I always use a condom, or I'm safe. Well, you don't always use a condom when you're cuddling, right? Like there's after sex, like you may spoon and you may cuddle, and that is still skin to skin, even though you're not actually having sex. There's no friction going on, but you are skin to skin at that point. So these are just some things to be cognizant about. Also, foreplay. A lot of times people don't think, oh, I need to use protection because of foreplay. We've been taught sex. That's when you need to use condoms. That's protection, sex. But we forget that there's a lot of before, during, and after that does happen. Hi, new friend. Welcome. There's a lot that happens that can be transmitted. So I kind of got off track on this last question, but I thought it was a great one to segue. Are there foods I shouldn't eat to keep from getting an outbreak? So this kind of backtracks to our first question about second outbreak. And hi, new friend, welcome. Yeah, there's definitely some foods that can cause an outbreak, and there's foods that can help reduce outbreaks. One of the things I want to, as we're speaking, let me finish my smoothie. Hope you guys don't mind. One of the things, and in some people, it's not like you don't need to make any changes. Like I explained, I had oral herpes for, 10 years, 8 years before I had genital herpes. And like I said, I only had my one outbreak. So there clearly, I didn't have any dietary restrictions or lifestyle restrictions or changes or anything like that I needed to make. Other people do. Just to give you like some of the biggies and the big ones, if you were to do a quick search, it would be peanuts and nuts. Peanuts, for whatever reason, are huge. They have a ton of arginine in them, and they can they can cause outbreaks. I have personal friends who, if there's, you have like a trail mix, or like you're at a party and you like kind of grab the nuts, grab the nuts at the party, the cocktail nuts. That also sounds funny. You know what I mean? You just go for some nuts. I'm cracking myself up over here. Anyways, and later that day, they can feel an outbreak happening on their mouth. Now, for some people, it's not an issue. For some people, genital herpes, it it may be an issue, it may be not. It just depends. So keep that in mind. If this is something you're really interested in, because this is a really loaded question and there's a lot of specific things I would like to ask you to help you put a meal plan together and remove some things in your diet and add some things in your diet and vitamins and supplements and things like that. I really would like to invite you to our weekly support group. It's our, twice a week support group. We meet Monday evenings and Wednesday daytime, depending on where you are, time frame. But it really is a great way, and we could dig deeper with this and get a little more specific. It is live, it is group, and it is extremely affordable. It is $15 a month. So super affordable. You can pop in. It's on Zoom. It's super easy. So I'd love to have you join if that's something that you really want specific questions to. All right. If I'm not having an outbreak and I touch my penis, like going to the bathroom or something, will I get it on my hands? All right, great question. And I get this question a lot from people who do not have herpes or not diagnosed, or they're dating someone with herpes and they're like, if I touch him or her, am I now going to get it? Even if, here's the thing. Can it happen? Yeah. Right. I want you to think about how many doorknobs a day, how many handles do you touch? How often do you touch your phone? Like, think how dirty this thing is. You go to the grocery store and you grip the handle and you walk. Like, I want you to think of how much you come in contact with germs and bad stuff, icky, heebie-jeebie, bad stuff, E. coli, all that stuff. Okay, I'll answer. I'll definitely. I love what you're saying. So I want you to think about that. With that being said, I want you to wash your hands. We don't wash our hands enough, and I really believe that if we go back to what we were taught in kindergarten of just wash your hands. You go to the bathroom, wash your hands. You are going to eat something, wash your hands. You're going to put your fingers in your mouth, wash your hands. Just wash your hands multiple times throughout the day, because we come in contact with a lot of bad heebie-jeebies, way worse than herpes. Can you get it if you touch your penis and get it on your hands? And some people, they do, they do get it in their fingers. I'm not that familiar with this. Basically, if you give the virus any opportunity to get into a location, it's going to go. So typically HSV1 is oral and HSV2 is genital. If you had a cut on your elbow and had an open pathway for a virus to get in, and you put the herpes virus on your elbow, then chances are you would probably get an outbreak on your elbow. Now, the virus doesn't like the elbow tissue, doesn't like this type of skin, right? It's thicker, it's tougher, it's not as moist or as like tender as our mouth or our genital region. But if you give it an opportunity to go in, if you touch your sore or it's an asymptomatic shedding, wash your hands. Asymptomatic, you're not going to know. But if you touch your sore, like you said, you're going to the bathroom, you're taking a shower, you're cleaning yourself, right, in the shower, whatever it is, just wash your hands. Soap, water, just wash it off. Just wash your hands. So that's what I like to recommend. I understand it, and I know there. Like, I'm a germaphobe actually, and there's times I've can't touch my eyes. No, just be cognizant of it, but don't get to the point of like you're walking around with gloves all day long and don't want to touch anybody. Don't go there with it. So our friend from the British continent said, I think HSV needs to be taken more seriously with sexual partners, especially the HIV risk. Totally. I think that so one of the things that we talk about after being diagnosed with herpes is the difficulty in telling a partner and having the sexual health talk with your partner. And one of the and it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's it's because society has made it an awkward conversation that you can't talk about anything that has to do with sex because it's wrong and disgusting and not appropriate. It's made it very difficult for us as adults to be very comfortable with talking about our sexual health. Once we are diagnosed with herpes, we now have to get really good at having that conversation with our partner. And I always tell people, like, hey, had we been having these conversations with more purpose and meaning and pride in our health, then chances are we wouldn't have gotten herpes, right? So that's something I want you to think about. Yeah, just like you're saying, we need to take it more seriously. If you are not asking, so a lot of times what's happening in our community, well, just in general, in the community of people with herpes, is we will tell our partners like, oh, I have herpes, I'm really sorry. But we don't ever, like, we come at it as a very like, I feel really bad type of position. Yet we still are not taking the stance of like, hey, yeah, I have herpes. It is what it is. But what do you have? Because chances are you have something. Because chances are I'm not the first person you're going to sleep with. And chances are you got something. So take it, maybe not say it like that, but taking that initiative to say, all right, let's go get tested. Let's both find out what's here on the table. And then we can move forward and take the appropriate next step to keep us both healthy and enjoy having sex. So yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. And again, this is something, I know I sound like a broken record, but this is something I talk about a lot in our group coaching, a lot, because having that initial conversation about, hey, let's talk about our sexual health is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So that's something that I really want us to not be so terrified about and not be so numb or frozen when we have to have that conversation. Because what ends up happening is we're too scared to have it. And then boom, we're in the doctor's office with an itch or a burn or a sore or this or that. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Take control of your own health because nobody else will. You only got one body. It's your body and it's no one else's body. So take control of it. Yes, HSV is a total wake-up call, and it should be. Yeah, it was a wake-up call for me. It was absolutely a wake-up call. So yeah, it's a wake-up call to say, wow, this actually happened to me. Not it could happen, or it will never happen, or I will never be in that situation. I will never sleep with somebody that has that stuff. There's no way I would pick that person, right? That's what we tell ourselves. Absolutely, it has nothing to do with it. Okay. I got on a rant. Okay. Okay, this is a good one. I'm really proud of this person for being so brave and vulnerable to say this to the community because this is a big one. I know this happens more than what we hear about. So hold on. Also, thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Okay. I slept with someone and didn't tell them I had herpes. What should I do? Thanks for the thumbs up again. Okay, I slept with someone and didn't tell them I have herpes. Yeah, that's hard and that happens for whatever reason. We were caught up in the moment. We were too scared to tell them. We didn't want the rejection. We were scared that they wouldn't want us. We were too drunk. Whatever it was, right? What I want here's what my personal number one thing is disclose. Because the truth will always come out, no matter what. In any situation, does herpes, not herpes, whatever. The truth always comes out eventually. What you don't want to happen down the line, whether this is a one-time relationship or one night stand, whether it is a dating situation, whether it turns into a marriage situation, whatever. That's going to eat you up inside, right? Because we know that there's a conscious of right or wrong. And we know in the back of our mind that I probably should have told, right? I should let that person know. As hard as it is going to be for you to go back to him or her and tell them, that's what you need to do. Tell them. The sooner you do it, the sooner you tell him or her, you didn't tell me. The sooner you tell them, the better it's going to be. It's hard. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be because you're going to feel all like, oh my gosh, this person going to like me, not like me. Oh my gosh, I think I might betray him. What else am I not telling them? Oh my, all this stuff. So the sooner you tell them, what happened, the better it's going to be for you and for your partner long term. The better you get at disclosing this, the easier it gets. It's just like anything. But yeah, I'm going to really recommend you tell him or her. If this is something specifically you want to talk about, you can find me on lifewithherpes.com. If you're like, I'm freaking out right now, Alexandra, I don't know what to do. I'm like hyperventilating. Book an emergency coaching session or join our support group. Like I said, the support group is $15 a month, super affordable. So join that and go to lifewithherpes.com. Join it. We'll talk about it. We can talk about it in the group. We can get other opinions. People may disagree with me. So I would love to hear other people's opinions on that. But absolutely, I just feel that it's the hardest thing to do, but long term, it's the best because it will eventually, when you have that thing that you're like, I know I need to deal with it. Or I need to talk to someone. Or I need to tell someone. And it kind of creeps up and like in your body and like the emotion. And you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I should really. And then you're like, no, I don't have time to deal with you today. And you push it back down. And then it's like, hi, I wanna talk about it. And you push it back down. Well, eventually it has to come out. And it's going to come out in whatever way possible. So whether it's an outbreak, whether it's an explosion of some emotional, whatever it is, whether you tell the person, I like to think about it as you take, for example, my smoothie, right? I actually made too much and I was making it and I had to take a couple sips and pour more in. If I would have kept filling the smoothie, then guess what would happen? It would overflow. It's just natural science. It's physics. So that emotional shit stays in your body. So I'm getting like really passionate again. So anyways, that's what I want to make sure that you understand. All right. Yeah, we have someone. I would always disclose before sex or new partner. Absolutely. It's definitely important. And then I think it's the law in the USA to disclose as it's assault, but check the law first. Yeah, this is something that's been really big, especially with the Usher case coming out about a year ago. And in some state, and really, we should get an attorney on the show to really discuss it. Every state is different, but there's a lot of people coming back saying like, hey, if you didn't disclose, then it's an offense and you can be sued for it. The opposing party could say like, well, we don't know who gave it to us, right? Because it's so contagious and can be really passed from a lot of different things. So I just don't feel comfortable talking about that because I'm not an attorney and I would really prefer to have an attorney talk about that. But yeah, it is the law in some states to disclose that type of stuff. So yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of great discussions today and I really appreciate you guys coming. Do you have any more questions while we're here? Do you have any other questions. We have a big 3-day weekend this weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. I can't wait just to chill. Nada? Nothing? Oh. Yeah, you said here, unless you can't disclose if you don't know. But if you do know, then yeah, it's the right thing to do to disclose. Absolutely. I want to point out these flowers behind me before I go. These lilies, these stargazers, I have had them for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They haven't opened. They're just beginning to open. I just wanted to point that out. I think it's really funny that they're just starting to open. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Anyways, okay. Join me next week, next Friday. We'll be in June. How is that possible? We will be in June. Join me. Find me same place, same time. I will put the link in the Slack group. You can also, if you are a member or if you are a subscriber to the show, then you can hit subscribe and you'll be automatically notified when I am live. Or go to joinlifewithherpes.com, join our secret society, our Slack group. It really is a great way to mix, mingle, talk to other people just like you and just like me who do have herpes and we're living with it and life is totally fine. So come join us over there. Also, I know I prompted a lot of questions for us to discuss today. So if this is something you'd like to discuss more in detail, especially in a support group, I really do recommend it. We get the idea from other people. Go to lifewithherpes.com/support. So I'm going to put it in here. /support. And the link is there for you. All right, I will put the questions below if you are watching the replay. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you are here, wherever you guys are in the world. I'm in Las Vegas. I have someone from the UK. Thank you. Yeah, I love being here with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and you spending your time with me. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Have fun. Have a beer, whatever it is. Oh, hey. Oh, I know you. Yeah. I know you. Yeah, great. I'm glad you're in our group. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So I can't wait to see you all next week. Be safe. Have fun. Have a beer. Fall in love. Love life. Life is way too short to let herpes ruin it. So don't even let it ruin it. All right. Great. I'm glad the community is really helping you. So thanks. I'm really glad that you are here and we're here together. All right, my friends, I will see you all soon and I can't wait to see you next week. And I have some good episodes coming out this week as well. All right. Bye. I never know how to end this. I always end it and then I'm not ready to end it.